Alright, welcome back to Sonic. I'm so, like, trained now. I almost said Sonic 06. Welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2. This is going to be the final part of the hero side story. This is the character battle between Eggman and Tails. These both are kind of difficult. They're not, like, super hard, but they are definitely the hardest character battles in the game, I would say. Their special attacks can do, like, massive amounts of damage to each character's. I wouldn't really say one is more difficult than the other, like the Eggman or Tails version isn't necessarily more or less difficult, but they're definitely both challenging enough. This was another part I remember as a kid vividly being stuck at. Also, I thought for sure I killed him there. He has, like, no health left. And there he goes. This is the only part of the game that I would say Tails is really, like, it's good to play as him. I like that we play that part. Oh, here's another cutscene where you can tell that the lighting is 1,000 times better on the Dreamcast. Because all subsequent times through, anytime there's a weird lighting effect like that on screen, their power-ups show above the lighting effect. So in this one, it's actually lit correctly.
About Tails and Amy. I hate to ask, but could you help them? This is our last chance. Before the cannon fires, I'll slam dunk it in there.
That's kind of weird. I always forget that they use live and learn there. I think it probably would have been better off if they had used it doesn't matter there instead. Because the one part in the game where they use live and learn later on at the very end is like such a better time to use it. So this is Sonic's last level. I think it's a fun level. It's just a big spectacle level. You don't have a ton of input or like decisions that you can make, you know, in this level very often. So I've said this before, but I think Crazy Gadget should have been the last level, and this one should have come beforehand. But you know, whatever. Now this was something that I really wanted to do. There's a bit of a skip here that you can do if you time this well. And if the camera doesn't screw you over, which it can, you can just land right on the rails here. And do a bit of a sequence break there. It's pretty cool. There's, you know, cool stuff you can do like that in this level, but it's mostly just kind of a fine level. I don't really think it's that bad. It's not very difficult, nor is it really that memorable. It's a fun level, and I do like replaying it, but it's, you know, as a final level for Sonic, I don't think it's very good. I said this before, but you feel like a final speed stage level should encompass everything that we've learned so far in the game. You know, take use of all the power-ups that we've gotten, and should just be about speed. Whereas this one slows you down a lot to do some rail grinding, there's some weird platforming. You know, you want to make sure that you're actually hitting the rails, otherwise you're going to fall right off into a bottomless pit. So you do have to take it slow sometimes, and for me that's not really a great final level. Yeah, it's dangerous enough to be the final level, but I don't really think it's a fantastic final level. Yeah, not really much to say here. I guess I'll talk about, no, I'm gonna sit through the credits, so never mind. I was gonna start to wrap things up, but that's not, no. What's Sonic's last level in 06? I'm trying to remember. It's not Kingdom Valley. Oh, it's the, like, is it Aquatic Base? Is that his last level? Yeah, I guess it is. That feels... No, because that one's got a lot of weird slow platforming too. Never mind. I was gonna see, does that one somehow have a better Sonic level? Or like ending? Sonic Adventure 1 definitely does. The final egg is a great level. Again, Sonic Adventure 1 heads just keep winning. I would say it's not even worth doing what I just did there, going back and trying to kill the perfect chaos. It's a little too difficult. And by perfect chaos, I mean artificial chaos. I keep doing that. Absolutely fantastic song. I love it. Gives you that sense of like you need to keep moving forward. If you know, actually hold down the B button here to brake, you'll get a whole lot more speed. If you can also manage to spin dash onto a grind rail, you'll get a massive amount of speed, and you'll be able to basically maintain that speed throughout the entire thing, which I try and do often. Also, this was pretty weird. I'm not touching anything other than up on the control stick, and I'm not getting enough speed until the third time when suddenly I just do. Yeah, I will say the Dreamcast analog stick was kind of finicky in this level. It's not great for like precision movement. So, you know, actually being able to like get onto the rails was sometimes kind of dangerous. That I never really had an issue with on the GameCube or the PS3 version of this game. This was also a level that I restarted a couple times just because I wasn't happy with how it was going. I do make a bit of a bungle, I think, in this recording, but it wasn't that big that it was like, oh, this is embarrassing, or I shouldn't show this. You do have an absolutely incredible sense of speed and scale of this level. It was right here, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That was the big mess up that I made in that level, which I wasn't too upset about, because it was mostly the camera's fault. But I didn't think that was that big of a bungle that I should like go back and re-record the entire level again. I don't know which level I like better, because Shadow has a level that's similar to this. It's not quite the same, but I don't know which level I think is better. I think this one does have a better sense of speed. Shadows, you have to slow down like a lot during that level, so I think I do definitely like Sonic's version of this better. And again, characters that are like Sonic and Shadow have levels that are similar to one another, but they're not exactly the same, which I like about that, you know? It's clearly inspired by the other level, and it takes place in the same area, but it's not the exact same level. The level design is completely different. Sometimes the goals of each levels are completely different, so I don't really mind that. It's not like Sonic Adventure 1 or 06 where you go through the exact same levels as different characters, and like it's just the same experience every single time you play. I think you can end this without going through this part, because I very rarely go through this part. I feel like there's another alternate way to end this level, but I'm not sure. Because I feel like I don't remember this as vividly. And I was like seriously freaking out when we played this co-op like a couple years ago. I remember being like, what is going on? I don't remember this part at all. So I think if you go through one of those different like holes, you'll get to a different area in the level. But I could be completely mistaken.
You never cease to surprise me, Blue Hedgehog. I thought that capsule you were in exploded in space.
You know, what can I say? I die hard. You actually saved me, you know.
It was a chaos emerald, wasn't it? But there's no way you could have activated the chaos control using an emerald that's faded. So, there's more to you than just looking like it. What are you, anyway?
That's probably one of my favorite cutscenes in the game. Yeah, I like that you get more interaction between Sonic and Shadow, which doesn't really happen that often in the game when you really think about it. This is the second time they've met, or third time, I guess, really. But I love how that cutscene starts with them walking, and they progressively get faster as they go on, and they start to, you know, get ready to fight. And then the song transitions into like a more kind of like heavy, like combat-ready song. So what you're supposed to do here is kind of spin dash into him when he gets ahead of you. If you get really lucky, he can spawn right in front of a chain of rings, and you can light speed dash into him, which is very unreliable because he has to spawn like perfectly. But the best thing that I find to do is the exact same thing that you did in the first fight with him. Just start mashing the homing attack, because eventually he'll start blocking your spin dashes, and I think your light speed dashes. So just mashing the homing attack button is probably the best thing to do in this fight at a certain point. This is also an absolutely iconic song. This was one of my favorite. I replayed this level so much as a kid. I just thought it was so cool, Sonic and Shadow fighting in space. The song's great. So yeah, this is one of the most like replayed stages when I was a kid. Also, I just loved watching like the end of a story. I would replay the story in this game all the time just to see the cutscenes. So yeah, you're really not supposed to do that because you can fly right off the stage. But, you know, just do it anyway.
Sonic, I did it!
Awesome job, Tails!
Sonic!
Look outside!
Love that ending. It's very silly, but I do love that ending. And we do get another remix of It Doesn't Matter, which was his theme from the first game. And again, just like Unknown from ME, so much better in Sonic Adventure 1. But I do really enjoy this version. I don't like the Unknown from ME in this game at all, whereas at least this version of this song is good and I enjoy it. But yeah, that's the hero side story. Probably the levels that I played the most as a kid. I replayed the hero story all the time. And I think it's held up fairly well. I do think that the villain side probably has a better story. But also, I think you have like one or two less shadow stages. So there's more of the gameplay that's actually like good in the hero's side. But you get an actual like complete story, I feel like, with the villain's story. I was thinking about doing like arranging all these levels in chronological order, and you know, having the first level be Iron Gate with Eggman, but that just doesn't feel right. You gotta start Sonic Adventure 2 with City Escape, otherwise it doesn't feel right. So I do think that's interesting to see this game all take place in like the proper chronological order. You get a more cohesive story for the most part. But whatever, it's fine. I do really like this story. I think, like I said, the things that I loved as a kid are still here, but there are some things that have not aged well. Specifically, the treasure hunting stages are really bad. The mech stages aren't bad by any means. They just feel tacked on and kind of useless. But the game obviously is always at its best when you're playing as Sonic or Shadow. That's not necessarily the case for the Dark Side story, because I do think the Eggman levels are really genuinely very good. They're much better than the Tails levels, but, you know, whatever. So I guess that's going to go ahead and do it for the hero side story for me. I'll let the credits play out. There is a cool little teaser that's in this one at the end. I don't remember if this is in the GameCube version. I want to say no, but I really genuinely don't remember. There's like a teaser for the Dark Side story that I always love. It's very TV, very pulpy. So enjoy that, and I will see you in the Dark Side story.
Eggman steals the research from a military base located on an island to the south. The military's top-secret weapon, Shadow, sealed in the space colony Ark, the 7 Chaos Emerald. When all of the keys have been collected, world conquest will be ahead. Sonic Adventure 2, The Dark Side Story. Long live the Eggman Empire.